Hi everyone. I need to share something unbelievable that's happening in my life right now. I'm honestly in shock and don't even know how to process it. Let me tell you the full story, and maybe you can help me figure out what to do next. It all began 15 years ago. My husband, Michael, left for work like any other day. He kissed me goodbye, grabbed his lunch, and walked out the door. But he never came home. That was the last time I saw him. No call, no message, just gone. I tried calling him over and over again, but his phone was switched off. That was not like him at all. I called his work hoping for answers, but they told me he hadn't even shown up that day. That's when the panic really set in. 24 hours later, his phone remained off. He'd just vanished. I reported him missing. The police got involved and there were searches, posters, the whole thing. But after months, there was nothing. No trace of him, no clues, like he had disappeared into thin air. And there I was, left to pick up the pieces of our life alone. Not just my life, our life. We had a child together, a beautiful little girl who was only 4 at the time. I had to explain to her that Daddy was gone, but I didn't even know what to tell her. I didn't have any answers. For years, I held on to hope. I kept thinking he'd come back, that maybe something happened, and he'd explain it all. But after 5 years of waiting, I had to face the reality that he wasn't coming back. My daughter was growing up without him, and I had to be strong for her. Eventually, I had to let him go, for both of us. We couldn't keep living in that shadow. Then 7 years ago, I met someone new. Let's call him Adam. Adam was a breath of fresh air I didn't even know I needed. He was wonderful with my daughter and patient with me as I worked through all my baggage. It was challenging at first, but we took things slow. Eventually, we fell in love. Last year, he proposed to me, and I said yes. For the first time in years, I felt like my life was moving forward again. But of course, that's when life decided to throw me the biggest curveball of all. Out of nowhere, I get a call from a police investigator. They had found my husband, alive, living in another country under a different name. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. If this call had come 7 years earlier, I would have been on cloud 9, but now? Now, it just felt like a bad dream. 15 years of nothing, and suddenly he's back? The investigator explained that my husband had been living abroad all these years, completely unaware of his past. He claimed to have suffered from severe memory loss, total amnesia. No one knows what caused it. An accident, trauma, maybe something else entirely. For years, he didn't have a clue who he was or where he came from. It was like his entire life had been wiped clean. But then, out of nowhere, these flickers of memory started surfacing, snippets of our life together, flashes of me and our daughter. Confused and desperate for answers, he went to the consulate to verify if those memories were real. Here's the kicker, though. While he was recovering his memory, he wasn't exactly living in solitude. He had started a new life with another woman, and they even had a child together. Yep, he had a kid with her. But when he finally remembered me, instead of quietly reaching out to apologize or explain, he accused me of cheating. Yes, you heard that right, me. According to him, the life he built with that other woman didn't count, because he couldn't remember me or our marriage at the time. But now that his memories are back, he says, I'm the one betraying him by moving on with my life. The nerve, right? After 15 years, this man, who abandoned me and our child for God knows what reason, because he didn't remember, dares to accuse me of betrayal. And as if that weren't enough, he's flat out refusing to give me a divorce. He insists our marriage is valid because he never stopped loving me, even though for more than a decade he didn't even know I existed. And now, get this, he wants to come back to our house, claiming it's his home too. He's also pushing to meet our daughter as he can just walk back into her life after 15 years. I honestly can't wrap my head around how his new wife is handling this. How is she supposed to react to him suddenly wanting to abandon her and their child for a life he forgot about? Meanwhile, I'm sitting here, trying to process how the man who left me to raise our daughter alone thinks we can just pick up where we left off like nothing ever happened. I don't get why he can't just accept that we've both moved on with our lives and give me the divorce. If he truly wants to reconnect with our daughter, I'm not standing in the way of that. But it will take time, and it has to be on her terms. He can't just force his way back into our lives like this. It's completely surreal. Now Michael calls me daily saying he still loves me, but honestly, I don't even know him anymore, and he doesn't know me either. He's in love with the memories of the life we had 15 years ago, but that life is gone now. The truth is, we've both lived lives apart from each other for a long time, and I don't have those feelings for him anymore. I've moved on. I'm in love with Adam. He's been there for me and my daughter every day for 7 years. But when I tell him that, he accuses me of cheating all over again. I'm so tired, and honestly, I don't know what to do anymore. He refuses to let go, and I feel like I'm trapped. Legally, I'm still married to him. Emotionally, I'm done, but he's trying to pull me back into a past that doesn't make any sense anymore. And the worst part? I have no idea how to get out of this mess. I've told Adam everything, of course. Michael is planning to come stay at our house next month, and it's tearing Adam apart. He's devastated. Even though he still wants to marry me, he's terrified that it may never happen. I can see the doubt in his eyes, and I'm so scared of losing him, the love of my life, just when I thought I'd finally found happiness again. I can't go through that kind of heartache all over. Not again. All I want is to move forward and be with the man I love. Is that really too much to ask for after everything I've been through? But as long as Michael refuses to give me the closure I need, I feel like I'm stuck in a nightmare I never asked for. And my daughter? She's just as confused as I am. She even suggested talking to Michael, thinking it might help, but honestly, I don't see it making a difference. He's fixated on the idea that we can just pick up where we left off 15 years ago. A friend of mine suggested that I file for divorce without the consent of the other party, but I'm not sure I want to go down that path. I understand that Michael's memory and health recovery are good signs. Honestly, I'm terrified of doing anything that might cause him to relapse or suffer another bout of amnesia. I just can't live with the thought of causing harm to someone I once loved, if you know what I mean. It's like my past won't let me go, no matter how hard I try to leave it behind. And some days I can't help but wonder, am I the bad person for not wanting to give us another chance? Should I be trying harder to make this work? Maybe if I had waited just a little longer, things would be different now. But then again, perhaps he wasn't interested in being with me and moving back if things were different. I don't know. So, what would you do if you were in my shoes? Would you give up the man you love to stay with the husband you barely know anymore? Or would you risk it all to move on with the life you've rebuilt?